Minister, you're very welcome to the House. I submitted an amendment to Section 14 of the bill, which deals with the dreaded Class K PRSI.
Sorry, Senator, we're on Section 50. No? Okay, Grant, sorry.
Yeah. It has been ruled out of order because of a cost to the Exchequer. Minister, members of this House have come to me who have gone to their dentist to get their teeth cleaned. They're paying €386 for their PRSI and they cannot get dental care. It has been suggested here in a rebuttal last week that we can buy voluntary contributions. I would ask those that are advising you, would they be prepared to pay 4% of their salary in PRSI contributions and then pay another €5,000 in voluntary contributions? Because if you've been paying PRSI at Class S, according to the department, you cannot, at Class A, you cannot buy the lower rate. You must buy back voluntary contributions at the higher rate. Now, we've already been down in the forecourts with this particular issue for county councillors, and your department settled that case. I would ask you today, Minister, have you been advised on the constitutionality of Class K PRSI? Is Class K PRSI, has your department been advised that Class K PRSI is unconstitutional? Nobody that I know of will pay for an insurance policy that they can never draw down on. Can you imagine taking an insurance policy on your car, having an accident and being told by the insurer, well, sorry, that's not covered as part of your policy? Can you imagine a situation of your house being burnt down and when you go to make a claim, I'm terribly sorry, you can't claim on that policy because it's just a contribution you're making it. You want to tax me for being a senator? Tax me. Put a piece in the Finance Act. Charge me 4% of my salary for the pleasure of being a public servant, and I'll happily pay it. So I will, because I'm in a very wonderful career here, where I have an opportunity to speak to ministers face to face. But for God's sake, let's not try and pretend to anybody that Class K is pay-related social insurance. It is not, it cannot be under any circumstances. I've been bringing this to this House every year for the Social Welfare Bill. I have been bringing it in and asking for an amendment, asking that we be treated the same as any other workers in the state. I am deeply disappointed that the decision has been taken not to repeal Class K and to put us on the same footing as any other worker in the state. I've been forced into a situation now where I have to put my family's welfare at risk because I am not going to sit down under this. I will go to the High Court and I will take this matter to the High Court. But I want to know today, have you been advised by your officials as to the constitutionality of Class K PRSI? And I think that's something we need to establish straight away.
Thank you. Look, I acknowledge the issue that you're raising. Senator Craughwell and Senator Burke have raised it with me on a number of occasions, and I know there's other interested parties here as well, and you have long-running concerns regarding the payment of Class K contribution by public office holders. The introduction of Class K for public office holders was a solidarity measure introduced among other income-generating initiatives in Budget 2011 during the financial crisis, with PRSI acting as the mechanism for collection. So it was, as I said, a solidarity measure. A number of other measures were also brought in during the financial crisis, and some of them are still in place today, such as the USC. Can I just say, you know, I can see there seems to be cross-party support on this, and I'm happy to hear that. What I would say is that that Class K was introduced as I said, a solidarity measure from Oireachtas members during the financial crisis, and in that regard perhaps this should be considered as part of the wider public sector pay restoration agreement. Those talks are underway, and maybe that's the place where this should be progressed. And I know I have given this a lot of consideration over the last year, you know, I just feel that perhaps maybe that if there was a private members' bill with members from every political party, you know, attaching to it, that maybe it's something that you could propose that, or consider, that maybe Class K, those on Class K, as in office holders in this House, and I know that the members of the judiciary on Class K, but in all, there's 100,000 on Class K, believe it or not. There's 100,000 on Class K across the board, because I checked that, there's 100,000. There's other people that use the benefits of Class K as well in the private sector. So it's not just ourselves, but maybe you need to hear what we're dealing with here is specifically the issue where you have people who have served in this House and found themselves out of a job, no income, no prospect of a job during COVID, and I'm well familiar with the case you refer to at times, and I had huge sympathy for that particular person involved because they didn't get back to this House after the last election. So maybe it's something that you could come together on. I know that there was a report that you prepared, Senator Craughwell, that went to the Joint Oireachtas Committee, and there was a number of issues raised in it, but if there's something maybe more definitive comes forward on an all-party basis, I'm happy to look at that, because I do have sympathy from, you know, regarding the points that you're making. Just to say, though, that Class K is constitutional because there was an act brought through the Oireachtas and signed by the President, so it's there. It was brought through in 2011 that this was an extra tax on public on office holders and on a number of, I think, members of the judiciary as well at the time. Plus, other people use it for other reasons as well. Class K, they're happy to pay into it and to do that. I take your point, so I'll leave it with you there at that, and maybe we can look at it in the next number of months, and you can come forward to me with proposals as to what you think we should do. But I do think it should be looked at in terms of the wider public service pay restoration as well.